With the introduction of the Serie A, the weekend recap has evolved to its final form. Top 4 leagues will all be covered, as well as Bundesliga, which this week you will be very familiar with and may just become a fixture in the weekend recap. I don't know. I'm Adrian. Thanks for joining us to start your work week off or your school week, whatever. And a big thank you to our sponsors, OneFootball, for making the weekend recap possible. OneFootball's app provides you with breathtakingly fast news, allows you to track your favorite team's matches from the starting lineups to the final score, gives you access to highlights, videos, and a lot more. Use the link in the description for a free download on either iOS or Android. That's how I keep up to date all weekend if I'm out of the house. Also, later this week, we'll do a live stream during the Champions League group stage draw, so you'll know who your team is playing as it happens with my live reaction and coverage. So make sure you join us for that. That will be on Thursday, 9 a.m. Pacific time, I guess 12 Eastern time, 5 in the UK, right? All right, we've got a packed list of things to cover. Are you ready? Do you have your beverage? Are you comfortable? Do you need anything else? So we'll start in Spain, where Barcelona looked to make amends for their opening weekend loss away to Bilbao with their home opener against Betis. No Suarez, no Messi in the squad for this weekend's match, and Antoine Griezmann had his opportunity to really step up, and he did. He looked decent all match and ended with 2 goals and an assist. Before that though, Betis' new boy Nabil Fekir scored a goal completely against the run of play, to be honest with you. Betis were dominated pretty thoroughly in this match, but Fekir looked sharp. Perfect finish. But in the 40th minute, Sergi Roberto played an incredible ball over the Betis back line that Griezmann shinned in for his first competitive goal for Barca. His second was the real thing of beauty though, a driven curler from the right that hooked into the back post. He looked dangerous. And with that sort of attacking talent around him, this season will be interesting. Big smile from Messi after that goal. Perhaps Griezmann's lamest celebration yet though, throwing glitter on himself. Please don't make that a thing. Griezmann also set up the 5th for Vidal. 5-2 the final. Great performance from Barcelona without Suarez and Messi, which is promising, as this could have been a banana skin for them last season. Can they keep it up though? Atletico Madrid got back to being peak Atletico Madrid, to be honest with you, with their second 1-0 win in a row. This time going away to Leganés. Atletico were fantastic in the first half, but the hosts improved in the second, hit the bar. But despite that, all of the dangerous opportunities, etc., they all fell to Atletico, at least the high quality opportunities. Atletico found the winner thanks to your favorite player. Yours. João Felix driving into the Leganés box from the right and squaring to Vitolo to slot it home. 1-0 the final. As you already know, Atletico in Atletico mode. Real Madrid played their first La Liga match of the season in front of the Bernabeu crowd against Ronaldo's Real Valladolid, and they absolutely dominated the Pusolanos. They huffed and they puffed, and Jovic hit the woodwork, and they hassled and they harried. Both James and Bale started, by the way, but Real Madrid finally found a goal in the 82nd minute after Valladolid came close, but a rather innocuous ball into the box from Varane fell at Benzema's feet, and he turned and slapped it in past Jordi Masip. 1-0 for 6 minutes, until Sergi Guardiola was played in behind the back line beautifully, and he slotted past Courtois. 1-1 the final. Frustrating result for Real Madrid and Zidane. Elsewhere, we had Celta Vigo defeating Valencia, meaning Valencia are winless after their first 2 matches of the season. They drew with Real Sociedad in their first match, and now the loss to Celta Vigo is huge for the Blue Boys. Well, the win for Celta Vigo, the loss, you know what I'm trying to say. Sevilla got a 1-0 win over Granada, who are back in La Liga. Sevilla are an extremely interesting case this season, as they're one of the busier teams during the summer window. And of course have Julen Lopetegui at the helm. But yeah, they got the win thanks to a goal from Joan Jordan, who they brought in from Eibar over the summer for 14 million euros. He was playing alongside Fernando in the midfield, and they look decent together. Well, Fernando isn't my favorite player, but it could work. So Atletico and Sevilla are the only 2 teams in La Liga that have won both of their matches, which is crazy, right? Who will blink first? Who will fail to win first? Next up for Sevilla, they have Celta, while Atletico is at home to Eibar, so the winning streaks could continue. The Serie A is back, but Maurizio Sarri is not back because he has pneumonia. A speedy recovery to him. Expected to be back for Juve's 3rd match against Fiorentina, so hopefully that will actually happen for him. Bummer though, because he'll miss Juve's next match against Napoli next Saturday. Coincidence? Yes. Anyway, Juve were playing away to Parma, who had a surprising campaign last season. At least they had some solid performances throughout, but eventually settled in 14th. But in this game, I mean, it looked similar to Juve of old. The revolution hasn't happened yet, though Pjanic did show how important he will be to the system, as he was fantastic in the middle. Chiellini and Bonucci got the start, so no De Ligt this time. Higuain was the striker, and he and Ronaldo looked pretty blah out there. But it's still early days, of course. Things can change, and I mean, Juve did end up getting the win, 1-0 away, which is decent. Szczesny had to make some decent saves. Chiellini redirected Alexandro strike in for the winner. Job done. Fiorentina and Napoli changed the user settings before starting their match against each other and turned on the no defenders option. Goleada at the Artemio Franchi. A goal fest. Fiorentina scored first from the penalty spot thanks to VAR spotting a handball. Didn't love the call, to be honest, but I thought it was harsh, but it's not natural silhouette, I guess. But before the half was up, Lorenzo Insigne and Napoli put themselves ahead 2-1. They should change the name of the stadium to the Lorenzo Insigne Stadium, by the way, as he was involved in every Napoli goal. But my favorite was probably Dries Mertens' opener for Napoli, to be honest with you. That was the best goal. I didn't like Napoli's penalty either, as Mertens made sure he had contact with Castrovilli, went out of his way to do so. But Insigne converted it, then set up Callejon in the second half, just 4 minutes after Fiorentina had brought themselves level again thanks to Milenkovic. Again, Fiorentina scored. I told you it was a goleada. So 3-3 there after Kevin Prince Boateng's goal, and who else to score the winner for Napoli but Insigne from Callejon. 4-3 Napoli, the final. Fiorentina lose. Another light blue team, Lazio, got a big win to open the season 3-0 away to Sampdoria. Now, of course, Sampdoria lost their coach, part of the reason why they were such a tricky team last season, as well as Prayet, who was a big part of their midfield, and then Anderson at the back as well. So, Immobile had a tough time last season, or at least a tough time reaching the heights of his 2017-18 season, but he started off well here with a brace, and Alberto has a brace of assists. Milan. Well, they open with a 1-0 loss to Udinese, and they start disappointingly, which is gotta be too familiar of a feeling for Milan fans these days. Disappointment. Atalanta got a 3-2 win away to Spal as the Champions League participants got 2 goals out of Luis Muriel and 1 from Gosens, coming back from 2-0 down to win it. Big boy moves from them. Roma went goal for goal with Genoa, but couldn't get the win at the Stadio Olimpico, as every time they hit one past Radu, Genoa would hit him right back. Another goleada, 3-3 in Rome. Okay, bonus league is here, and it's the Portuguese league again because it's taken another twist and another turn, and it's a league you should pay attention to, man. It's exciting, and there's some incredible talent that comes out of that league, so watch it, all right? I'm gonna make you into a fan. Sporting have climbed to the top of the table. We're 3 matches in, people. But they've done it as they beat Portimonense 3-1 away, which is a great result. The Bas Dos saga lives on with Sporting, but who needs them when you have Bruno Fernandes? 3 assists for him, an assist for each goal Sporting scored, and honestly, Sporting could have had another goal had Willian not been there to help out and Portimonense's defense. Braga, they went away to Gil Vicente, and again, the newly promoted club is causing some problems. I mean, well, there's an asterisk by that. They beat Porto in their opening fixture, then lost 3-0, then held Braga to a draw. Early signs point to them being one of those teams that causes problems for the traditionally strong teams and then loses against the mid to lower table teams. I hope that doesn't cost them their lives in this league. Well, I mean, I don't really care, but I'd like them to stick around for at least another season after all that time down below. And finally, the big one, O Classico, Benfica hosting Porto, and it was a terrible match. Fantastic for Porto and their fans, but we were bad. We simply weren't good enough, especially given the fact that we were playing at home. This is the worst performance I've seen from a Benfica side under Bruno Lage, I think. Well, in the league, that is. There may have been a Europa League match from them last season, or one of the 2 domestic cups that we crashed out of last season that was worse than this. But in recent memory, this is easily the worst match that we've had under Bruno Lage. But as for the match itself, Porto won 2-0, and they deserved the victory, as Benfica at no point did we look confident or like we were up to the challenge. When Porto attacked, they looked more confident. When they had to defend, they looked more comfortable. I mean, this stat says it all. Alex Grimaldo had more failed pass attempts, 11, in 45 minutes against Porto than he had in his last 2 full 90s against Passos Ferreira and Belenenses. Bad. It felt like maybe we thought we had won this match before it had begun, given the strange start Porto had to their season, losing to Krasnodar in Champions League qualifying and losing their opening Liga match against Gil Vicente. Two things I'll say. One, I hope this is a catalyst, or a fire under our asses, so to speak, to never let our guards down like this again, and to not let our performances suffer because we're overconfident. And, well, I actually have three things here, so two of them are kind of connected. Two, there's way too many alarmists on the internet out there that are jumping all over Bruno Lage right now. I mean, look at his record in the league. This is one loss out of an entire season, and have a little patience to allow him to make adjustments and correct things. Which leads to my third point. I pray that Lage makes adjustments. Start Chiquinho or Trapp from the beginning. Drop Seferovic maybe. Something to shake up and make the players realize that their shit stinks and they still will be benched if they don't perform. And guys like Samaric and Seferovic haven't been up to snuff so far this season. Neither has RTT really, but he's still adjusting, to be fair to him. So, I don't know. Lage needs to shake it up, and I think he will. I hope he will. Especially with the two central midfielders. Okay, so let's try to be calm here. Ultimately, it's still early enough that what we do against the other teams in the league is what will determine our season, not this 2-0 loss. Benfica hasn't beaten Porto 3 times in a row in the league since 1972. This isn't anything too crazy. It's an opportunity missed to put a massive gap between us, but it's nothing more than that. Let's move on. To Germany, where Bayern Munich finally released their prisoner Renato Sanchez to Lille and went away to Schalke and won 3-0. Guess who scored all 3 goals? Robert Lewandowski. That's right. You nailed it, man. I knew you'd get it right. He's looked on form so far this season. Way better than the last. To be fair, he loves playing against Schalke. That was his 9th consecutive match he scored against them, which is insane. I mean, even banging in that free kick, man. He was on it. 6 goals already. Now, Ivan Perisic and Philippe Coutinho did make appearances in the second half. Coutinho actually looked decent. And with time, this Bayern attack could be extremely frightening. Coutinho tucked in behind Lewandowski, Coman and Gnabry on the wings with Perisic coming in. Kimmich looked alright in the midfield. Good stuff so far. If we're talking good stuff though, Borussia Dortmund has had the best stuff. Initially, it looked like their match away to Cologne would be one of those frustrating matches where you completely destroy the other team but just can't score. Well, that was the case of the first half as Cologne scored and Dortmund couldn't do anything with their 76% possession. But thankfully for Lucien Favre, they found their stride in the second half, especially in the attack, and put 3 past Timo Horn. Of course, Jadon Sancho had a big say in this game, scoring and assisting yet again, as he's done in the last few matches. Achraf Hakimi scored what was the eventual winner in the 86th minute, and Paco scored the 3rd because he just can't help himself, can he? 3-1 win there. RB Leipzig got their 2nd win in a row under new coach Julian Nagelsmann, with Timo Werner scoring his 2nd of the season. He also signed a new contract with Leipzig this weekend, which will perhaps put an end to the constant transfer rumors surrounding him. We'll see. Yusuf Poulsen scored the other, meaning he had a goal and an assist in Leipzig's 2-1 win. Shock, by the way. Gonzalo Paciencia scored with his foot and not his head for Frankfurt's lone goal of the match. That's insane. Guy loves a header. Wolfsburg, Freiburg, and Leverkusen all won their matches as well, and there are 5 teams with 2 wins from 2. Another staring contest is going on in Germany. Who will blink first? And finally, guys, let's quickly go over the Premier League. I gave it a ton of coverage in the first 2 episodes of the weekend recap, so we'll do a quick review here so I don't keep you too long. First of all, I don't think anyone expected Watford to have this poor of a start to their season as they lost at home. Their 3rd loss in a row so far, this time at home. By the way, I said that already, but at home to West Ham. Brutal start for Watford. Nice of West Ham to turn things around. Now, Aston Villa got an incredible result as well as they defeated Everton 2-0 at home, as Jack Grealish's insane losing run in the Premier League has come to an end finally. Wesley with the winner. El Ghazi added the 2nd in second half stoppage time to make it 2-0. Crystal Palace is a team that a lot of people have pegged as going down, not me personally, and of course this weekend's result won't be decisive either way. But getting a 2-1 win at Old Trafford certainly helps their cause to stay up. United absolutely smashed Palace in every category, except they had no bite in the attack. None. Sure, it doesn't help when Rashford missed a penalty, which is hilarious only in the context of how much people were talking about Pogba taking the penalty over Rashford last week against Wolves. That was insane, the media coverage that got. Then Rashford takes one, and he fails to convert as well, hitting the woodwork. Oh, man. Now, strange refereeing moments aside, which sure you can feel hard done by in that case, but United should be defeating Crystal Palace at home. It shouldn't come down to the referee deciding the match for them, but they didn't. Daniel James leveled in the 89th, but then they let their guard down. Pogba is caught in possession. Palace break the other way, and Van Aanholt slips it under De Gea. 2-1 Palace, just like that. And this weekend we said farewell to a winning streak as Brighton the Titans lost 2-0 to Hasenhüttl's studs, Southampton. You know what hasn't come to an end though? Teemu Pukki, as he scored and assisted against Chelsea, taking his goal involvement up to 6 so far this season. He scored 5 of Norwich's 6 goals this far in the Premier League. That's wild. Well, Pukki impressed, as did Chelsea, and thankfully for the sake of his confidence, Tammy Abraham, who scored a brace on the day. 3-2 win, Lampard's first win in the Prem. A big shout out to Newcastle and the rest of the Toon Army as they strolled down to London, saw 21% of the ball and ended up winning somehow against Tottenham. Newcastle's first points of the season, Joelinton getting off the mark. Massive result for them, especially with all the turmoil going on there. City won 3-1 against Bournemouth, no real surprises there. I mean, Sterling and Aguero getting goals, De Bruyne grabbing another assist for his collection, etc., etc. City roll on. And finally, Liverpool versus Arsenal was the biggest matchup in the Premier League, and Liverpool looked quite comfortable against the visitors. And I mean, it always helps when Mo Salah shows up to play. Not only did he convert a penalty, but he had a great run in the 58th minute, blew past David Luiz, and ended up with him rolling the ball past Leno. That made it 3-0 at that point. Matip scored the opener earlier, and Torreira scored the closer, I guess, for a consolation goal for Arsenal. 3-1 the final. Liverpool are the only team to not drop points after 3 matches. They have a 2-point lead over City right now. Can they hold on to first for the rest of the season? We'll see. But that's it for this one. Like I said, a quick Prem review this time. I gotta go and get after some more content for you guys. We'll also have a live stream later this week where I'll be watching and reacting to the Champions League draw, which I talked about at the beginning of the video. You already know this, man. All right, I already said this stuff. I'm really tired. So thanks for watching, guys. I love you. Take care.